Chocolate is love, adventure, and science, all wrapped in one. Every Valentine's Day, millions unwrap chocolates without realizing they've traveled thousands of miles. From the rainforests of Ghana to Swiss factories, cocoa beans cross oceans and climates to become the sweet symbol of love. But how does delicate chocolate survive this long trek without melting or losing its flavor? By the end of this video, you'll uncover the secrets behind chocolate's perfect Valentine's Day arrival. Chocolate's journey starts in the lush tropics, where cacao trees thrive under warm, humid canopies. Unlike machine-harvested crops, cacao requires human precision. At dawn, farmers armed with machetes cut ripe pods, revealing the cocoa beans inside. Each football-sized pod contains dozens of cocoa beans, encased in a sticky white pulp. But at this stage, the beans taste nothing like chocolate. In fact, if you were to bite into one, you'd get a surprisingly tangy, almost citrusy flavor, far from the rich, velvety sweetness we associate with the final product. To unlock the deep, complex flavors of chocolate, the beans must first undergo a natural alchemy, fermentation. This is where science and tradition intersect. The beans, still coated in their pulp, are piled into wooden fermentation boxes or heaped beneath banana leaves, left to sit in the tropical heat for several days. As microbes break down the sugary pulp, the beans heat up, reaching temperatures of 45 to 50 degrees Celsius, 113 to 122 degrees Fahrenheit. This process is crucial. It's what develops the chocolatey, nutty, and fruity notes that define fine cocoa. Skip fermentation, and the beans will produce dull, flat-tasting chocolate. After fermentation, the beans must dry, a process that takes another week under the scorching sun. Farmers spread them out in thin layers on large drying racks or patios, turning them regularly to ensure even moisture loss. Here, one of the oldest and simplest preservation methods, sun-drying, ensures that the beans don't develop mold during transport. But drying isn't just about preservation. It's about refining flavor. Over these days, acidity levels mellow, and the raw, fruity taste of the fresh beans deepens into the rich, aromatic foundation of chocolate. Once dried, the beans are packed into jute sacks, typically holding about 50 to 70 kilograms, 110 to 150 pounds each. But the journey to your Valentine's Day chocolate box is still only beginning. Before they even reach international ports, many of these sacks travel hundreds of miles over land, often on dirt roads or across rivers where boats replace trucks. In countries like Ghana and Côte d'Ivoire, where small-scale farmers produce most of the cocoa, getting the beans from remote farms to major export hubs can be as much of a challenge as the ocean voyage itself. It's a logistical ballet, one that depends on everything from the weather to the condition of rural infrastructure. Finally, the cocoa beans arrive at major ports like Abidjan, Ghana's Tema, or Ecuador's Guayaquil, where they're loaded onto massive cargo ships. But unlike many agricultural exports, cocoa is particularly sensitive to environmental conditions. Too much moisture in transit, and the beans can develop mold, rendering entire shipments useless. Too little, and they dry out, losing their essential flavor compounds. To prevent this, exporters use ventilated shipping containers designed to maintain the perfect balance of airflow and humidity. Some high-end chocolate makers go even further, employing data loggers to monitor conditions throughout the voyage, ensuring that the beans remain in pristine condition. Cocoa shipping routes span the globe, with beans from Africa and Latin America heading primarily to Europe and North America. Switzerland, Belgium, and the United States are some of the largest chocolate processing hubs, where the raw beans will finally be transformed into the treats we know and love. But this transcontinental journey isn't always smooth. Storms can delay ships, supply chain disruptions can create bottlenecks, and even small fluctuations in global commodity markets can impact when and how cocoa reaches its destination. And then, there's the issue of price. Unlike many crops, cocoa is traded on the global market, meaning its value fluctuates daily based on factors ranging from weather patterns to geopolitical events. A sudden drought in Ghana or an unexpected frost in Brazil can send prices soaring, affecting farmers thousands of miles away. For small-scale producers, this volatility makes cocoa farming a constant balancing act. They must produce enough to sustain their livelihoods while navigating a system where prices are often out of their control. After surviving a weeks-long ocean voyage, cocoa beans arrive at processing hubs where their quality is tested before they can begin their transformation into chocolate. Inspectors check for mold, insect damage, and off flavors. Beans that don't meet the highest standards are often sold for lower-grade chocolate or cocoa powder production. The best beans, however, move forward, ready for their next metamorphosis. This is where the true magic begins. The beans will be roasted, ground, and conched, turning from rough, bitter seeds into the smooth, rich chocolate that fills heart-shaped boxes around the world. But before we dive into that process, another challenge remains. How does chocolate, which is notoriously delicate, survive its next journey without melting, blooming, or losing its perfect texture? The answer lies in precise temperature control, cutting-edge shipping technology, and a supply chain designed to move millions of chocolates at just the right moment. Once the cocoa beans arrive at their destination, their transformation from raw ingredient to luxurious chocolate begins. But this process is anything but simple. Every step, from roasting to grinding, from tempering to packaging, must be executed with precision to preserve the delicate flavors developed during fermentation. Chocolate making is both an art and a science, requiring careful temperature control, meticulous processing, and innovative logistics to ensure that every piece reaches consumers in perfect condition. And with Valentine's Day driving one of the year's highest chocolate demands, manufacturers must coordinate an intricate supply chain that moves millions of confections across the globe in a matter of weeks. The first step in the transformation is roasting. Just like coffee, cocoa beans develop their signature depth and richness through heat. Roasters operate at temperatures between 120 to 150 degrees Celsius, 250 to 300 degrees Fahrenheit, carefully calibrated to bring out the chocolate's unique flavor profile. Some beans take on fruity notes, while others develop nutty, caramelized undertones. Once roasted, the beans are cracked open, revealing the prized cocoa nibs inside. These nibs contain cocoa solids and cocoa butter, the two essential components of chocolate. The outer shells, now useless, are discarded or repurposed as mulch or livestock feed. Next comes grinding, a process that turns solid nibs into a thick, gritty paste known as cocoa mass or chocolate liquor, despite the name. It contains no alcohol. This stage is crucial, as it determines the smoothness of the final product. Industrial grinders refine the particles down to microscopic sizes, ensuring the chocolate melts seamlessly on the tongue. The cocoa mass is then separated into two parts, cocoa powder and cocoa butter. The powder is used for baking and beverages, while the cocoa butter is a key ingredient in high-quality chocolate, giving it its signature silky texture. But making chocolate isn't just about grinding beans. The next step, conching, is where raw cocoa transforms into the velvety indulgence we recognize. Conching is a slow, intensive mixing process where chocolate is continuously kneaded and aerated, sometimes for 24 to 72 hours. This not only smooths out the texture but also allows undesirable acids to evaporate, leaving behind a well-balanced, refined flavor. The longer the conching, the better the chocolate. Some of the world's finest chocolatiers conch their blends for days to achieve unparalleled smoothness. Once the chocolate is perfected, it must be tempered, a highly precise process of heating and cooling that ensures the chocolate develops a glossy finish and satisfying snap. Without proper tempering, chocolate can appear dull or develop a white, streaky bloom caused by unstable cocoa butter crystals. At this stage, flavors like vanilla, caramel, or nuts may be added, and the chocolate is molded into bars, truffles, or pralines. But a new challenge arises. How do you transport a product that melts at just 30 to 32 degrees Celsius, 86 to 90 degrees Fahrenheit? Chocolate is among the most temperature-sensitive foods in the world. Even a slight fluctuation in heat or humidity can ruin an entire shipment. This is why the global chocolate industry relies on climate-controlled transport at every stage. From factory to warehouse, from distribution center to retail shelf, chocolate must be kept at a precise temperature, ideally between 15 to 18 degrees Celsius, 59 to 64 degrees Fahrenheit, with low humidity. For large-scale shipments, manufacturers use refrigerated containers, known as reefer units, to prevent melting during transit. These high-tech containers are equipped with sensors that constantly monitor temperature and humidity levels, ensuring that chocolates remain in pristine condition whether they're traveling across the country or around the world. In the case of luxury chocolates, destined for high-end boutiques in Paris, Tokyo, or New York, some companies even opt for air freight, where specialized cargo holds maintain precise conditions to protect the delicate treats. But transport isn't just about keeping chocolates cold. Speed is just as crucial. Valentine's Day creates a logistical race unlike any other. Unlike everyday chocolate sales, which follow predictable patterns, Valentine's demand spikes dramatically in the weeks leading up to February 14th. This means manufacturers, retailers, and shipping companies must coordinate a perfectly timed supply chain to ensure that millions of chocolate boxes reach shelves exactly when consumers expect them. A delay of even a few days could mean shelves filled with unsold chocolates on February 15th, turning what was once a high-value product into unwanted surplus. To keep up with demand, manufacturers begin production months in advance, stockpiling chocolates in temperature-controlled warehouses before distributing them to retailers at precisely the right moment. Large brands like Ferrero, Lindt, and Hershey use predictive analytics to forecast demand, ensuring that supply meets customer expectations without excessive overproduction. Some companies even employ artificial intelligence to analyze shopping trends, adjusting shipments in real time based on consumer buying patterns. But even the most advanced logistics can't predict everything. Unseasonably warm weather, shipping disruptions, or unexpected surges in demand can throw supply chains into chaos. This is why backup plans are essential. Many major chocolate brands work with multiple logistics providers, ensuring that if one shipping route is delayed, another can take its place. Some even keep emergency stockpiles at distribution hubs to prevent shortages in case of last-minute transportation hiccups. The final leg of chocolate's journey is the one consumers rarely think about: last-mile delivery. Whether chocolates are shipped to supermarkets, boutique chocolatiers, or directly to customers via e-commerce, they must still be handled with care. Delivery trucks equipped with climate control ensure chocolates remain stable during transit. High-end chocolate brands often use insulated packaging with ice packs to protect fragile products. Even courier services must be mindful. One too many hours in a warm delivery van can compromise the integrity of delicate confections. With every piece of chocolate that reaches a consumer's hands, there's a story of precision, technology, and timing behind it. But even with all these measures, one question remains. How do companies ensure that these chocolates not only arrive in perfect condition, but also capture the magic of Valentine's Day? The answer lies in marketing, presentation, and an ever-growing emphasis on sustainability. The final stretch of chocolate's journey is where precision meets anticipation. After weeks of meticulous processing, packaging, and transport, chocolates must now reach their final destinations: store shelves, boutique chocolatiers, and doorstep deliveries. But the last mile, the handoff from retailer to consumer, is the most unpredictable. With Valentine's Day demand peaking, timing is everything. A delayed shipment can turn a romantic gift into a belated apology, making logistics a race against the clock. For large retailers, chocolates arrive at regional warehouses before being dispatched to supermarkets, department stores, and confectionery shops. Unlike most packaged goods, chocolates require careful handling, stored in temperature-controlled trucks and unloaded quickly to prevent melting or bloom. Overstocking leads to excess inventory and post-holiday discounts, while understocking means lost sales and disappointed shoppers. To balance supply and demand, major brands like Ferrero and Hershey use predictive analytics, ensuring that chocolates arrive exactly when and where they're needed. Luxury chocolatiers face an even greater challenge. High-end brands like Godiva and Pierre Hermé rely on freshness and exclusivity, meaning their chocolates have shorter shelf lives and more delicate compositions. Some use insulated packaging with cooling elements to protect truffles and pralines during transit, while others opt for air freight, ensuring their chocolates arrive in pristine condition at flagship boutiques worldwide. E-commerce has added another layer of complexity to last-mile delivery. Online chocolate sales surge before Valentine's Day, requiring precise coordination for same-day and next-day shipping. A box of chocolates left too long on a warm doorstep can arrive in a melted mess, so some companies use heat-sensitive packaging that alerts recipients to temperature exposure. Others include handling instructions, urging immediate refrigeration. Even courier services must be mindful. One delay in transit can compromise an entire order's quality. Sustainability is also reshaping chocolate's final journey. As consumers demand eco-friendly options, brands are switching to recyclable packaging and low-emission transport methods. Companies like Tony's Chocolonely focus on ethical supply chains, while industry giants like Mars and Ferrero incorporate electric vehicles into their delivery fleets, reducing their carbon footprints. Beyond logistics, the emotional impact of chocolate delivery remains paramount. Valentine's Day is about more than just taste. It's about presentation, anticipation, and sentiment. Premium brands invest heavily in elegant packaging, personalized messages, and limited edition collections, ensuring that each box feels like a gift worth savoring. As the clock ticks down to February 14th, last-minute shoppers fuel a retail frenzy. Supermarkets brace for crowds, boutique chocolatiers rush to restock, and delivery drivers work overtime to ensure chocolates arrive just in time. No matter how far they've traveled, from equatorial farms to high-end stores, each piece of chocolate represents an intricate global journey, bringing sweetness, craftsmanship, and connection to millions of celebrations worldwide. From rainforest to factory, from cargo ship to store shelf, chocolate's journey is a global feat of precision. Each Valentine's Day, millions enjoy it without realizing the careful logistics behind every bite. Next time you enjoy a bite of chocolate, think of the hands that harvested it, the ships that carried it, and the precision that kept it perfect. Every piece tells a story of craftsmanship, science, and love. And as innovations continue, the future of chocolate delivery might be even sweeter. Subscribe for more hidden stories of food logistics.